Welcome back to Atlanta and Company. I'm Holly Furfer. With more than 25 years as a clinical psychologist, Dr. Bob Rausch has helped hundreds of real people who feel exhausted and drained at the end of the day. You know how that goes. And he helps them regain control over energy in their personal and professional lives. And he joins us now with more. Welcome, Dr. Bob.
Thank you, Holly.
Okay, so first of all, your new book, I Don't Dress Dead People, which is available at WWAOW.com, and we'll get to that a little bit later.
Right.
But it's got a really unusual title. So explain to us what I Don't Dress Dead People means.
Well, the subtitle really helps with that, and that is that if you want to live an energized life, then really what you need to do is you need to focus on your energy. So live an energized life without burning yourself out. We all have this abundance of energy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it surrounds all of us, but how we use that energy is really important. We generally burn energy mentally, emotionally, and physically, and an effective use of that energy is really important. And the book, what I talk about is 22 what I call energy connectors that helps people decide where am I going to give my energy and where do I need to not give my energy.
Now, looking through the book, I noticed one chapter that caught my eye called Don't Stress Out Over the Pots and Pans.
Right.
So pots and pans of life, I assume you're talking about. What does that really mean?
Everybody has pots and pans in their kitchen. We don't make a big deal about pots and pans. We also have these pots and pans in our life, the things that just naturally happen to us. I call them the things that stop us. They don't completely stop us, but those kinds of things like being stopped at a red light or being in a hurry and you're late for an appointment, and all of a sudden you start using your energy to worry or to be frustrated or whatever. And so the way I help people take a look at that is if you want to have enough energy for your family when they come home, for your husband, for your children, you don't want to waste your energy all day long on the insignificant events that happen all during the day.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And I know that you mentioned 22 energy connectors in your life, and you mentioned them in the book to help people stay energized. Number 13 specifically asks, are you picking out clothes for dead people? Right. What does that mean? Intriguing, but I'm a little confused.
And that's a question everybody asks. Actually, we all know that if a relative dies, there's somebody that's going to put clothes on that person when they're deceased. Right. Where I got that was from my client in Salt Lake City, and what he was finding was that he was spending a lot of time pouring a lot of energy into people and into events, and he was getting nothing back. And he suggested, well, Bob, you ought to call this I Don't Dress Dead People. And I thought about that after a while, and I thought, gee whiz, how many dead people have I dressed? In other words, they were alive, but how many times have I put 95% of my energy into something and they put 5? And so when we look at relationships or we look at jobs or we look at projects or whatever, we need to ask ourselves, what am I getting out of this? Because if I spend all my energy, at 95% of my energy, and other people spend 5% of their energy, then what's going to happen is I'm going to ultimately get stressed, I'm ultimately going to burn out. So to live an energized life and to have enough for my family, I need to decide what I'm going to get as well.
Oh, terrific advice. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Now, talk about how you got this book published, because you did something a little different.
Right. All self-publishers have a major challenge, and that is to find a publisher who will not only pay attention to them, give them a great price, but also help them get the book moving. Right. I found Kimberly Baum, and Kimberly is associated with WWAOW Publishing. When I got associated with them, immediately Kimberly set up a situation where she was not only helping me publish my book at a great price, but also she was helping me market. In fact, that's the reason I'm on the show today, because of Kimberly. Helped me market the book, gives me some PR suggestions, helps me do a whole lot of things that other publishers were not doing. Plus, I got a great price on the book, and I get some residual from the book as well. So it was really cool.
We had mentioned it, so use it. WWAOW, W-W-A-O-W, stands for Worldwide Alliance of Writers. But how does it work? I mean, can anyone publish a book? If I've got an idea for a book, can I go there and publish something?
Absolutely. If you have a book in you, and most people have a book in them, they will work with you to figure out how to get that book published in a really good period of time and also at a low price. So anybody that has a book in them can work with WOW.
So, like, for instance, somebody in our audience might have a children's book idea or a cookbook idea or maybe a story about their family history. They can do it. They get it published and sold through this? Anything?
Anything. And it's worldwide. I mean, it's a worldwide publishing company, so it doesn't, my book is going to go it's all over the world now.
Right.
So anyone who has any idea about doing a book can go to WOW, the website, can contact Kimberly, get that book written, put it out to the entire world on any topic.
Oh no, the world's in trouble. I've got some ideas.
Yeah, really.
Okay, I want to go back to your concept of energy. What 3 programs do you believe that make up energy productivity, that energy productivity method, I guess you would call it?
What, 3 programs? I think, number 1, I think people have to make sure that they take care of themselves physically. That last piece that you did on the marathon, you talk about energy.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself physically. And that means you have to rest, you have to eat right, and all those things. But the bigger part is taking care of the energy right here.
Yeah.
This is where we lose most of our energy. So how we think about things, how we think about ourselves, how we think about people, how we think about what we're doing, where we're working, what we do when we stay home, how we're taking care of our children is really important. How we use our emotion is really important. That's the second thing. The third thing is the spiritual energy. When you have purpose and meaning in life, then what happens is your energy is going to be at a higher level because you know why you're on the planet.
So what kind of things drain energy? I mean, you mentioned the pots and pans and things that we stress about that we shouldn't, but what other things should we be on the lookout for?
Well, look out for vampires. There are these energy vampires all over the planet. And what they do is they sneak in, they have like this magic siphon hose, and poof, they plug that in. They drain your energy. You feel like a shriveled up prune. When they leave, they feel better. So the idea is that we have to be careful of energy vampires, those people who want to rob us of our energy. But another big culprit is ourselves. Like I said, we have to be careful what we think, how we think. We have to be able to use our energy effectively on a daily basis so that we don't get ourselves into places where we drain that energy. Once you drain the energy to a really low place, you're more susceptible to depression, you're more susceptible to stress, you're more susceptible to those things that are just stress-producing or burnout-producing events in your life.
Oh, such great advice, Dr. Bob. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Holly.
I'm energized just speaking to you today.
Me too.
And if you want to purchase a copy of I Don't Dress Dead People or to achieve the dream of having your own book published, just go to WWAOW.com or gettingenergytowork.com. Again, WWAOW or wow.com or call WWAOW. All right, let me tell you that in numbers, 678-339-8802. Woo, there you go. This segment was paid for by Worldwide Alliance of Writers Publishing.